All right, so that's where you guys at, man. I've been looking for y'all. I want to salute you, baby. Send you that great energy, man. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man, Theodore Smiles, man. Guess what? I'm back in full in effect. It's been a lot of changes, you know what I'm saying? And we got to be like water, you know, as things come, try to change our shape and our design. You know, we just flow and we crash, you know, up against the walls, and then we push against all odds, and next thing you know, hey, we back on top. So I want to talk about when it's time to leave your job, when it's time to leave a relationship. I just recently changed occupations myself. I'll go into what that situation was about, but either way, it was a healthy situation for me. And I feel like the situation, the job, man, it was holding me back. And now I'm doing other things. I'm using my hands, I'm building, not just helping people with finances. I'm able now to explore a different part of myself. I'm able to reach out and use these good old hands of mine and build things with them. And it feels very good not to be sapped and drained of my empathy on a daily basis, because I'm dealing with basically criminals that's trying to scam the system. Now anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the story. As you can see, I'm out here at the park and it's quite lovely. But this story here was kind of like how I was talking about the water, which I was honestly thinking about Bruce Lee. He was like, be like water. You know what I'm saying? Water can be soft or it can be something that crash. Well, this story here, coincidentally, was written by Bruce Y, as in yellow, Lee, MD. Yes, the man's name is Bruce Lee. Okay, he has an MBA. Now, a funny bone to pick. One sign it's time to move on from a job or a relationship. This was written on August 2nd, 2022. Here are the key points of this story. A relationship isn't going well if the other person can't answer basic questions about you and hasn't made the effort to change the situation. Here's another key point that we're going to delve into. When the other person doesn't really know you, he or she will inevitably rely on stereotypes, hearsay, and superficial characteristics. A third key point. Although getting to know you does take time, there should be a limit as to how long and the number of attempts that it should take. Let's go ahead and jump into the first paragraph of the story. Thank you so much for your time. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. It says here, while I was working in a previous position, I once told the leader of the department, "You barely know me." To that, he readily agreed, but didn't add anything like, quote, "I should try to get to know you better," unquote, or, quote, "Let's finally try to have lunch together," unquote. So it shouldn't be surprising that long before that brief exchange, I had already decided to leave that position. Unbeknownst to him, since he, barely knew me. After all, who in any relationship, professional and personal, says, "I really would like to be with someone who barely knows me"? Absolutely no one. And I've been in a situation like that myself where, the young lady that I was dealing with for quite some time, I feel like she didn't know me at all. They didn't take the time to get to know me. But at the same time, me and you got to understand that we look for love like we look for love in our mothers. But you'll never be able to get that type of love from a woman, because she don't love you for you. Oftentimes, and this doesn't apply to all women, but oftentimes that woman loves you only for what you can do for her. Now, let's go ahead and go on into the story. It says here, yes, one clear sign that a relationship is not going well is that the other person cannot answer basic questions about you and has not made the effort to change the situation. The song from the musical The King and I goes, quote, "Getting to know you, getting to know all about you," unquote, rather than, quote, "trying to ignore you, I don't care at all about you," unquote. Naturally, gaining such real knowledge takes time, and getting to know you doesn't mean simply knowing your name or anything that may be on your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your dating profile, or some other publicly available website. Instead, it entails investing the time to truly understand your personality, your motivations, and your concerns and fears. In fact, since you are undoubtedly changing at least to some degree with time, knowing you should be a continuous process. It goes on to say, like the operating system of your smartphone, others need to download updates on you and your thoughts at least periodically. Very true. Because me personally, I'm constantly striving to gain new knowledge and grow into a new person. Because yesterday, guess what, man? That was yesterday. Today got to take care of today. And guess what? My whole mission is to be better than I was yesterday. All right? I'm feeling great and I'm feeling powerful. And I want to send you this great energy, baby. That's why I'm bringing you this show. Because I can't put forth out nothing in the world unless it's the best that I can do. Your work, the passion that you put forth, the information that you give to others, that's your signature, baby. And don't you ever forget that. Now, although getting to know you does take time, there should be a limit as to how long it should take. Although getting to know you does take time, there should be a limit as to how long it should take. Once enough time has passed, hell, like 5, 6, 7 years done went by, and this person still act like they don't know you. Hell, it shouldn't have been that long to be real. Once enough time has passed, we all been there, right? In the words of Simply Red, quote, "If you don't know me by now," unquote, then it's likely time to move on from the job, if you can, or relationship. That's because so much in any relationship depends on knowing each other. A leader really can't lead without knowing whom he or she is leading. Imagine a coach sending players out onto the field and saying, quote, "Go do whatever it is that you are good at doing, and you know that stuff that you are not good at. Don't do it, whatever it may be," unquote. No, a coach ain't gonna say that. Similarly, a teammate on a professional sports team probably wouldn't say, quote, "I will throw you the ball now. I have no clue what you are going to do with it, or whether you even know how to play this sport. But you are wearing the same jersey as me, and YOLO. You only live once, right?" You really can't work through the inevitable twists, turns, and rough patches that any relationship encounters without knowing each other. When the other person doesn't invest the time to really get to know you, he or she will inevitably rely on stereotypes, hearsay, and superficial characteristics to form opinions about you. For example, once after I was introduced to a well-known comedian, this is the author speaking, and comedy writer for the first time at a get-together and asked him about comedy writing, he responded several times, quote, "Well, you actually have to be funny," unquote. How foolish it was for me to have started with, "Hello, nice to meet you." Maybe a better opening would have been, quote, "A priest, a beekeeper, and a dinosaur walk into a bar." Or perhaps I should have been armed with some good knock-knock jokes, some really good ones such as, knock knock, who's there? Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you who? Shouldn't you actually listen to what I have to say before drawing a conclusion and writing me off? With any relationship, personal or professional, ask yourself how thoroughly the other person can answer basic questions about you. Such questions may include, what are your likes and dislikes? What are your goals, your hopes and dreams? What tends to motivate versus disincentivize you? What is your personality in general? At the same time, determine how much effort the other person has put into getting to know you. How you may have helped the other person get to know you, and what is the true nature of your relationship. So is it just a little bang junk? Is y'all just sexing it up? Is it just a sex relationship? Because you ain't growing, what else is you doing but just boning? And then the other person, it just don't even, man. People, man, women just, it's just lost in the sauce these days. We're gonna keep on going. There are only so many attempts that you can make to establish a closer relationship, right? Especially when the other person is the leader of your department or organization, or in some way has a higher rank or more seniority than you do. As they say, it takes two to tango. And if the other person doesn't even want to come downstairs to tango, you are basically left in the basement to binge watch Stranger Things on Netflix by yourself. For every relationship, and this is about the conclusion, we're just about finished here. For every relationship, I haven't read this yet. For every relationship, set yourself an attempt limit and a time limit, right? I should have learned that a long time ago. The attempt limit could be 3, 4, or 5, depending on how genuine the attempts may be. The time limit could be a few months, a year, or perhaps 3 years, depending on the nature of the relationship. So don't let 5 or 6 or 7 years go by and y'all still ain't built nothing. You still can't thrive with this person and they still acting a damn fool. They enjoying that shit and they got some other shit going on. So you just need to leave that motherfucker alone. Either way, whatever they doing, y'all can't thrive. So you got to be alive and you got to be happy by yourself, baby, at the end of the day. Last paragraph here. Regardless, don't let things drag out too long. The time you spend with a person who doesn't care to get to know you is an opportunity cost for others. Better relationships and positions. If your moving on ends up surprising the other person, they really didn't know you very well, did they? Yeah, no, because I'm gonna tell you just like this here. I done already told you, hey, I ain't happy with the situation, whether it's the job, and I got the road. Whether it's a lady, and I told her more than once, I'm not happy with your performance. Your performance might be basic. And I know I deserve more than basic because I don't bring basic to the table. I bring outstanding performance in everything I do. You got to care about what you do. Your work is your signature. It's your man Theo the Smile. I'm out, baby.